Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sergey. First of all, it's a really great honor for me to speak here today for such an outstanding audience in such a beautiful place. And the topic of my speech is Prognos look at modern capabilities and trends in business analytics. So in my presentation, I would like to speak a little bit more on most demanded current and prospective capabilities in business analytics available today, sort of following the report of Dan Summer, first report. I would like to thank Dan for his very interesting speech. And in my presentation, I would like to focus on, of course, Prognos' view on these trends that world's leading experts indicate and predict in the world, how Prognos strive to consider them in our offerings to existing users and clients. So, what are the top analytical capabilities demanded today by around the world, by organizations around the world, regardless of their type, regardless of the industry? What are the main development areas in business analytics? Let's list them based on opinion of the most reputable analytical firms specialized in our industry in IT and business analytics, such as Gartner, Forrester, IDC, and of course based on the feedback that we collect from our users and clients around the world. In March, a month ago, almost 2 months ago, Prognos participated in the key event in our industry, in the key business analytics event. It was Gartner Analytics Summit that was held in Texas in the United States. And several general recommendations and predictions were heard there from experts. And the first recommendation was, recommendation to the users, to organizations, was to use different analytical products for different analytical needs. Let's say one product for dashboards building, another one for predictive analysis, the third one for reporting. These recommendations seem maybe too obvious, too general, but actually, it is a movement away from so-called mono approach, when organizations tend to use one product of one vendor to cover the whole range of different tasks. So the first recommendation is to use different products for different tasks. And the second general prediction from experts was was the fundamental shift from development of analytical capabilities as part of business applications such as ERP systems, CRM systems, other systems, to development of business applications around the analytical capabilities of analytical platforms. So eventually, analytical platforms will increasingly become a core element of client's IT environment in any organization. The third trend is about growing importance of integration capabilities of analytical platforms and analytical applications. This trend actually correlates a lot to the first 2 points. So in order to operate in heterogeneous IT environment or to be a core element of client's IT infrastructure, your analytical platform, your analytical applications should support the integrability, ability to be well integrated with different data sources, different systems, again, ERP, CRM, even social media. This ability, integrability, is becoming very important ability for any analytical platform. The next trend, we already many times mentioned this trend today, is predictive and prescriptive analytics. So all analysts expect that the usage of this functionality, including forecasting, including goal-oriented planning, will grow very fast, will grow dramatically. I will talk about this trend in more detail a little bit later. A key trend today is so-called data discovery and self-service analytics. So it's about providing analytical tools to business users that require minimal or even no IT support at all. In other words, it's the ability to easily handle data, easily make analysis, easily build reports. And the demand for such functionality, the volume of this market is growing very fast. We can see it on chart. The next trend is actually very common for the whole IT industry. It's about provision of tools, in particular analytical tools using cloud technologies. I will also speak a couple of words about that. Another very important area is enhancement of capabilities to handle so-called big data, both structured data and unstructured data, so better performance when working with large volumes of data. And therefore, there is a growing demand for so-called in-memory technologies that enable users to operate with this big data by processing data in operational memory. Another trend is not only tools, but solutions. So this is very clear, very well-marked tendency that users are looking not only for tools to facilitate their business tasks, but for ready-made or semi-made solutions that, along with tools, provides built-in reports, models, algorithms to meet client-specific or industry-specific requirements to the fullest extent. And the last, but not the least, trend is mobile analytics. So with growing popularity of mobile devices, tablets, continuous enhancement of their capabilities, the demand to access analytical applications from such gadgets also grow. So these are top trends and demands. These are top trends, top analytical capabilities demanded today. As users, you might be interested in what Prognos offer in these mentioned directions. And I would say that Prognos actually has been working actively in all these areas. In some of them, for example, in predictive analytics, Prognos was a visionary, so it had invested to this functionality long before it became so promising. And moving to the second part of my presentation, I would like to demonstrate some of our functionality, some of our capabilities to illustrate how they reflect, how our applications reflect to these trends. Before I do that, I would like to describe our core technology, our Prognos platform. It is an integrated analytical platform, our flagship product and the foundation for all our developments. It has several levels. Its architecture you can see on the screen. It has several levels. On the upper level, we have both so-called traditional analytics tools and advanced analytics tools. So dashboards, report designer, all-up analysis for building flexible queries. These are traditional analytical tools. And such tools, time series, modeling and forecasting for solving more advanced business tasks. The middle level includes tools for developers, for constructing data warehouse, for preparing metadata, for extraction, transformation, loading tasks. We have also a wide library of visualization components for different purposes, and so-called software development kit for more advanced customization. The lower level includes tools for security management and administration and extensive number of integration capabilities to connect with external data sources, external systems. So for example, you may run Prognos platform on any database management system you like, Oracle, Microsoft, Teradata, so any database management system that your organization use. We also have a set of connectors to popular ERP systems like SAP or to popular information systems like Bloomberg, to other software. Of course, we work very closely with different types of files, Excel, XML, TXT, and SDMX, and many others. On the top of that, there is a data discovery component to provide users with the tool for very easy and the most intuitive analysis. And as already said, there are a lot of capabilities for integration with external data sources and external systems. And let's now remember at the beginning, our first three trends, that business analytics is becoming more and more a core element of client IT infrastructure, that it should be also able to be a part of the system and to have powerful integration capabilities. So, as you could see, Prognos platform provides a wide range of tools to be able to solve the whole range of analytical tasks from A to Z. These tools are natively integrated with each other. They speak completely common language. They use the same metadata. For example, if you want to build model in our modeling and forecasting component, you can just use your indicators from your data warehouse as variables. And then, after you get modeling results, you can easily visualize them in dashboards, in report designer. You don't need to do different routine to move data from one application to another application. And as you can see, all other trends are also taken into consideration in Prognos platform. So we have mobile access to the components of the platform. We have in-memory, built-in in-memory capabilities to handle big data. We have data discovery component. We have a number of capabilities to integrate with other systems. And let me now show some applications to illustrate this Prognos approach. Let me start from the data discovery. So, in addition to corporate comprehensive analytical platform that cover the whole range of tasks, but require stronger IT support and preparing metadata, business users also need sometimes simpler tool with very intuitive interface, with very good visualization, with very easy connection to data sources, with very easy creating of reports. So in few words, self-service analytics directly for business users without or with minimum IT support. And now I would like to demonstrate how Prognos views this tool that allows, without turning to IT, very quickly load the file, then build some reports and visualize some results. So this is an example of our data discovery component available on the platform. We can sign in. We can first of all choose the data source here. Let's assume that we have a very typical situation. It's Excel file with data from doing business publication of World Bank. You all know. Of course, first of all, let's define which columns are dimensions, which one is metric. We can load this data. Actually, this data is about countries' efficiency on different export-import procedures in different countries. So here we have data about some European countries. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. We have this data source now, data set in the system. And let's build a couple of not very complicated reports. First of all, let's build a table and let's visualize several indicators in the table. For example, number of documents that needed in particular countries, in Austria, in Belarus, in Belgium, Bulgaria, Finland. Let's choose some defined time selection. So we've got the table. Let's also visualize another indicator, time to import, using color. So red color is bad situation, green is good. Let's duplicate the table and here visualize number of documents to import indicator using colorful charts. So first report sheet, let's assume it's ready. Let's add another one where we would like to visualize something in dynamics. Let's put cost to export indicator on the bar charts in dynamics. And let's compare several countries, 6 European countries on their efficiency. Let's see what was happened in 2009. Let's sort countries right here. And we can see that in Finland, the lowest value of indicator is the best situation. The worst one is in Belarus, in Bulgaria, in this example. So we have additional services here to change color scheme, and so on and so forth. Let's add another one report sheet. Let's say with bubble charts, so-called bubble charts analysis. It's a kind of multidimensional analysis. We can compare different countries by several indicators simultaneously. For example, let's put on different axes again our indicators about time to import, about number of documents to export, and one dimension is timeline, so we can play this bubble chart And let's define cost to import. Let's assign cost to import to the size of bubble. So we've got the chart. We can see that the highest value for all indicators is in Belarus. It's actually the not very good situation. We can trace it. We can play the bubble chart and see how the situation is actually improving in Belarus. While, for example, a blue bubble, which is for Bulgaria, so the situation is becoming even worse. And let's add another one, maybe the last one, report sheet. Here we operate with areas. The size of area could be, again, time to export. Color of area could be number of documents to import. And selecting time period, selecting countries, we again can analyze the situation in different European countries with selected indicators. And playing this chart, we can see how the countries are changing their positions from year to year. So we are done with our combined report. And as you could see, it took for me less than 5 minutes to go from loading data and making a couple of course, not very complicated reports. And now we can see this report in the presentation mode to list like pages, like slides. We can send it to our colleagues. So this is example, this is vision of Prognos on such kind of tool, data discovery tool that allows users, business users, to fulfill their business tasks without waiting for IT on their own. Let's now come back to looking at our trends. And the next trend is, as you remember, predictive and prescriptive analytics. So analysts predict that this market will grow. And the reasons are clear, because such tasks, forecasting tasks, planning tasks, are of key importance for any organization. And Gartner, for example, illustrates this fact as follows. So on the screen we can see 4 top-level BI tools categories: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. And 2 top items, predictive and prescriptive analytics, they answer the most difficult question. It is x-axis, the most difficult questions of companies, but at the same time they bring the greatest benefit, the greatest value for companies. So this is just illustration how important these tools are. And I would like to describe Prognos' approach on this type of analysis, on predictive analysis. So in business analytics space, under the name predictive analytics, many vendors mean just static analysis. But the world is not static. It requires completely dynamic analysis, dynamic modeling. Some vendors also provide predictive analytics tools as a separate component, as a separate tools that they often gain from a merger of some specialized vendor. And in this case, these tools become very poorly integrated with other BI tools, with other analytical tools. And this is not very convenient for business users. And also there is another situation, another challenge of using predictive analytics, that very often such tools are really difficult to use for business users. I also have assumption what the reason of such complexity. We believe that historically predictive analytics components they came from statistical packages that were very difficult, that were intended for professional people, for econometrists, for experts. And of course, they, for example, provide command line, Boston configuration menus, very limited graphical representation, visualization. So they are really difficult to use. What Prognos does is completely different. So first of all, our approach is dynamic approach. We provide dynamic models, dynamic analysis, scenario analysis. As you already seen, our predictive modeling components are natively integrated with all other components, so they use common metadata, they speak the same language. They also have rich functionality, so we have a lot of different statistical and mathematical methods in the Prognos platform. And at the same time, they are designed not only for highly qualified experts, but also for other categories of business users, such as company analysts, marketers, industry analysts, and sometimes executives. And I would like to demonstrate this functionality, this mix of functionality, on the example of our components, going from maybe very easy, first of all, going from very easy analysis to building more complicated models. Let's assume that first of all you need to make a number of transformations, you need to play with your data to build some dependencies. In this case you can work with the so-called express modeling tool or time series analysis tool. So here you can have access to all your indicators from the data warehouse. You can choose some of them that you want to analyze, to drag and drop them to the modeling workspace. And now you can operate with these indicators as a time series. You can apply a set of methods, set of models, as I've already said, for example, arithmetic methods, aggregation methods, different types of smoothing, different kinds of transformations, time transformation, mathematical transformation, accumulation totals, and even forecasting and different regressions. So let's, for instance, forecast these our indicators by one of the methods, by linear trend. We've got the result for all indicators. We can check it on the chart. We can choose another indicator and forecast it with different method, for example, with linear regression using our other indicators as factors. Okay, we've got the result again, and now we can compare two different results of forecasting of the same indicators that we got by different methods. And we can evaluate these results and maybe to choose which one is more appropriate for us at the moment. So this is the first example with we call it simple time series analysis. Then, for example, you may want to structure your dependencies and to start building a bigger model. Again, you can take your indicators, you can drag and drop them, and now visualize them using graphical chart. So you can define some of them as factors, as scenario variables, some of them as result variables. You can easily connect them with dependencies to define method. Now it's linear regression, so the blue box is a result variable. So we've got simple equation, linear regression equation. We can define its parameters to see specification, factors, coefficients, statistics. We can check summary statistics to see correlation matrix and so on and so forth. So we've built just now one equation. And now let's assume that we've already built model. It's a real model, it's relatively big. It contains many variables, many equations, some of them factors, some of them modeled variables. And here you can both adjust or modify this model or simply perform calculations, scenario calculations, and compare results. So let's first of all show how we can change this model that we've already built, but every time sometimes you need to adjust it. So let's select some equation. Again, let's see parameters, data for this equation, correlation matrix. We can apply some statistical tests here to apply some transformation methods to factors, and so on and so forth. And now you want to calculate this model that you already built. Here you can conduct scenario forecasting. It's very important. It's our so you can define your scenario parameters on the forecasting period, for example, right on chart, then recalculate this model, and in few seconds to get the result of this assumption. So how this change influenced on your result variables. So we believe that this ability to to conduct such kind of calculations without very strong IT preparation, it's very important to provide user such tool that could be easily and quickly provide him possibility to perform different calculations. To be well prepared for different business tasks, as I've already said, Prognos platform includes a wide range of different tools. So maybe tomorrow, my colleague Dmitry Schultz will describe in more detail which methods are included in the platform. And another important thing, that sometimes it is very important to have, along with tools, some predefined models. Prognos also provides country-level economic models. For example, we have models for Eurozone, for some European countries, for United States, for China. We have a set of regional models, models for different industries, and models for companies. Let's move to another trend. It's analytics in cloud. I don't want to explain what analytic cloud, what is cloud technologies is. Everybody knows that. I just want to demonstrate Prognos example of cloud-based analytical service. It is called Data Portal. It is a single window access to different data and different analytical capabilities at the same time. So this data portal includes a huge, is based on a huge data warehouse. Some figures that characterize this data warehouse are given on the screen. So 500,000 indicators, more than 500 reports, more than 90 data sources. And this data warehouse and the data portal itself, they are deployed in the data center. And users can get access to this data warehouse via internet on a subscription basis. So business users who are looking for diverse information and for analytical capabilities, they don't need to allocate capacities, they don't need to think about hardware, to think about how to gather data, how to transform this data to unified format. Everything is already done in Data Portal, and let's show how it works. So this is the home page. Again, we first of all need to sign in, and then we are coming to the search page. Here we have search a la Google. We can here search any information we want. We can filter it by data providers, by regions, countries, by topics. So let's see what, for example, is available for France. And let's type one indicator. For example, production of wine. So let's search and let's see what is available for wine production in France. So system gave us some results. Data Portal gave us the snapshot of the data. Right here we can choose some other countries, for example Italy and Spain, and compare production of wine in these three countries in dynamics. For deeper analysis, we can go to our time series module that I've already shown, and here to work with the data deeper, to apply some operations, methods, to forecast these indicators, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of cloud-based solution that provide at the same time data and at the same time analytical functions, and allows users just to buy subscription and to use this application. The next trend is not only tools but solutions. Based on experience of our company, today we provide a set of ready-made and semi-made solutions for different sectors. For example, for government sector, we have such solutions for different types of agencies. For example, state budget analytics for public financial organization, customs analytics or customs risk management for customs services, data management tool for statistical agencies. For financial sector, we have a number of solutions for central banks, for development banks, and we also have such solutions for different types of corporations, different industries. The important thing that all of them are based on Prognos platform. All of them are closely integrated with each other and contain not only tools but also built-in reports, models, and algorithms. And the last trend is mobile analytics. So, advantages of this functionality is very clear. All of us want to have key figures, key information every time at hand when we are in the office, when we are in the plane, waiting in the conference room for the beginning of some meeting and would like to refresh information in our mind. And let me show one example of such application from Prognos. I will plug in my tablet. I would like to show one example of such application, mobile application, developed by Prognos for the World Bank. This application is called Data Finder. It actually now is available in the App Store, and any users could freely download it and try to use. The aim of this application is provide access to the data on different statistics, national, regional, global indicators compiled from different data sources. Sorry. And let me show a couple of functions that available in this application. So we can search our data by country to choose countries and to see what is available. We can search data by topic. We have a set of topics here, for example, economy, states and markets, population, and to choose number of indicators to analyze. We can also build some flexible queries here using Explore module. Here we can define more flexible structure of the report, periods, indicators, countries. And let's see example of, for example, analysis by country. Let's see what we have for France. Let's filter by country, click France. And now the system will give us some data that we have for different indicators about France. Global indicators such as population, GDP growth, GDP per capita, some indicators about environment, for example, electricity production, energy use, economic indicators, inflation, and let's choose one, for example, number of internet users in France. Let's see it on chart. Okay, we now get in the chart with dynamic of internet users in France. And here we can, right here we can try to compare this indicator with some other, with this indicator in France with some other countries, for example, Germany, for example, India, and any other countries. So actually all the capabilities that are available in Prognos platform, in web-based application or in desktop application, they're also available here in mobile extension. And for example, now we can send this our finding to colleague, to partner, to client, to add some comment. So this is the capabilities for collaboration with this data. So actually, what I've tried to show to you in the past half an hour are, first of all, our vision and vision of experts on the key trends in the business analytics space, and how Prognos platform and how applications based on Prognos platform reflect to these trends. I'm ready to answer your question if you have some. Thank you for listening.